The Crusades, a term synonymous with religious fervor, military campaigns, and cultural clashes. These were not just wars, they were a series of complex events that shaped the course of history. The Crusades were driven by a mix of religious zeal, political ambition, and economic gain. They were a response to the call of the papacy, urging Christians to reclaim the Holy Land from Muslim control. But beyond the battles and sieges, the Crusades were also a cultural exchange, albeit a violent one, that brought different civilizations into direct contact. Spanning over 2 centuries, from 1096 to 1291, the Crusades marked a turbulent period in medieval history. This era saw numerous expeditions, each with its own goals and outcomes. The First Crusade, launched in 1096, was a response to Pope Urban II's call to arms. It successfully captured Jerusalem in 1099, establishing several Crusader states. However, subsequent crusades faced varying degrees of success and failure, with the Holy Land changing hands multiple times. These holy wars, sanctioned by the papacy, pitted Christian Europe against the Muslim forces of the East. The motivations were complex, involving not just religious fervor, but also the desire for land, wealth, and power. Knights and nobles saw the Crusades as an opportunity for glory and riches, while commoners were promised spiritual rewards and the remission of sins. The papal decrees were powerful motivators, rallying people from all walks of life to take up the cross and join the cause. The ultimate prize? Control of the Holy Land, the birthplace of Christianity. Jerusalem, with its sacred sites, was the focal point of these campaigns. The city held immense religious significance for Christians, Muslims, and Jews alike. For the Crusaders, capturing Jerusalem was seen as a divine mission, a way to secure their place in heaven. The Holy Land was not just a physical territory, but a symbol of spiritual conquest and redemption. Key figures emerged from this maelstrom, their names etched into the annals of history. Pope Urban II, Godfrey of Bouillon, Richard the Lionheart, and many others. These leaders were not just military commanders, but also symbols of their respective causes. Pope Urban II's call to arms at the Council of Clermont in 1095 set the stage for the First Crusade. Godfrey of Bouillon became the first ruler of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, while Richard the Lionheart's exploits during the Third Crusade became legendary, and Saladin, to name but a few. Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, was a formidable opponent who recaptured Jerusalem in 1187, leading to the Third Crusade. His chivalry and leadership earned him respect even among his enemies. The interactions between these leaders, both on and off the battlefield, were pivotal in shaping the course of the Crusades. Their legacies continue to be studied and admired to this day. The Crusades were a clash of civilizations, leaving an indelible mark on the world. They were a period of intense conflict and cultural exchange that reshaped the medieval world. The impact of the Crusades can still be felt today, in the form of historical narratives, cultural memories, and even ongoing geopolitical tensions. The legacy of these wars is complex, reflecting both the brutality of the conflicts and the profound changes they brought about in the societies involved. The Crusades, a word derived from the Latin crux, cross, were essentially armed pilgrimages. They were a response to the perceived threat of Islam and the desire to reclaim Christian control of Jerusalem and other holy sites. The call to arms resonated deeply with medieval society. For knights, it offered a chance for glory and land. For the Church, it was an opportunity to assert its authority and unify Christendom. For ordinary people, it was a spiritual quest, a chance to cleanse their souls and secure a place in heaven. In 1095, Pope Urban II issued a call to arms that would reverberate through Christendom. He urged Christian knights to liberate Jerusalem from Muslim rule, promising forgiveness of sins for those who took up the cross. The response was overwhelming. Led by figures like Godfrey of Bouillon, a powerful French nobleman, the First Crusade achieved the unthinkable. In 1099, after a grueling siege, Jerusalem fell to the Crusaders, an event met with widespread rejoicing in Europe. The Third Crusade, from 1189 to 1192, was perhaps the most romanticized of these holy wars. It was a time of chivalry, valor, and intense religious fervor. The Crusaders, driven by a desire to reclaim the Holy Land, embarked on a perilous journey that would test their resolve and endurance. The tales of their bravery and the hardships they faced have been passed down through generations, becoming the stuff of legend. It was sparked by the fall of Jerusalem to Saladin, a brilliant Muslim military leader. Saladin's capture of the city in 1187 sent shockwaves throughout Christendom. His strategic acumen and leadership skills were unparalleled, and he quickly became a formidable opponent for the Crusaders. The loss of Jerusalem was a significant blow to the Christian world, prompting a call to arms from the Pope and leading to the mobilization of forces across Europe. This crusade saw the participation of three powerful European monarchs: Richard I of England, known as the Lionheart, whose reputation as a fierce warrior preceded him. Richard's leadership and military prowess were instrumental in rallying the Crusader forces. His determination to reclaim Jerusalem was unwavering, and he became a symbol of hope and inspiration for the Crusaders. Philip II of France, a shrewd and ambitious ruler, also joined the crusade. His alliance with Richard was crucial, although their relationship was often strained. Philip's participation added significant weight to the Crusader cause, and his resources and troops were vital in the campaign. And Frederick I, Holy Roman Emperor. Frederick, an experienced and respected leader, brought with him a vast army from the Holy Roman Empire. His involvement underscored the importance of the crusade and the widespread support it garnered across Europe. Tragically, Frederick drowned en route to the Holy Land, a devastating blow to the Crusader forces. Richard's military prowess led to significant victories, such as the capture of Acre. The siege of Acre was a grueling and bloody affair, but Richard's strategic brilliance and relentless determination ultimately led to its success. This victory was a major morale boost for the Crusaders and demonstrated Richard's capabilities as a military leader. However, despite his best efforts, he was unable to retake Jerusalem. The city remained under Muslim control, and the Crusaders faced numerous challenges, including supply shortages, disease, and internal conflicts. The dream of reclaiming Jerusalem seemed increasingly out of reach, and the Crusaders were forced to reconsider their strategy. Ultimately, Richard negotiated a truce with Saladin that allowed Christian pilgrims access to the city. This agreement, while falling short of the Crusaders' ultimate goal, was a pragmatic solution that ensured the safety and religious rights of Christian pilgrims. The truce marked the end of the Third Crusade, a campaign that, despite its failures, left an indelible mark on history and shaped the course of future crusades. Section 5. Betrayal in Byzantium. The Fourth Crusade. The Fourth Crusade, which took place from 1202 to 1204, stands as a stark reminder of the complexities and contradictions inherent in the crusading movement. Originally intended to target Egypt, the Crusaders found themselves diverted to Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, fellow Christians. Driven by political intrigue and Venetian economic interests, the Crusaders sacked Constantinople in 1204. An act that shocked the Christian world and deepened the rift between the Eastern and Western churches. Section 6. The price of piety, the Crusades' impact. The Crusades, while driven by religious zeal, were far from bloodless pilgrimages. They exacted a heavy toll on both sides. Countless lives were lost, cities were sacked, and religious tensions were inflamed. The Crusades also had a profound economic impact. They stimulated trade between East and West, as new goods and ideas flowed along established trade routes. The demand for transportation and supplies enriched Italian city-states like Venice and Genoa, which played crucial roles in ferrying crusaders and their equipment. Section 7. To cultural crossroads, East meets West. The Crusades were not just about military conquests and religious fervor. They also served as a catalyst for cultural exchange between East and West. European crusaders, exposed to the more advanced Islamic world, encountered new ideas in fields like mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. This transmission of knowledge contributed to the intellectual awakening that would later fuel the Renaissance in Europe. Section 8. Echoes of the Crusades, a lasting legacy. The Crusades, while ultimately failing in their primary objective of maintaining lasting control of the Holy Land, left an indelible mark on history. They shaped the political landscape of medieval Europe, strengthened the power of the papacy, and contributed to the rise of powerful monarchies. The Crusades also left a legacy of religious intolerance and violence, the echoes of which can still be felt today. Section 9: Conclusion, Faith, Fury, and the Future. The Crusades were a complex and multifaceted phenomenon driven by a potent mix of faith, politics, and ambition. These campaigns, spanning several centuries, were not merely wars of conquest, but were deeply rooted in the religious fervor of the time. The call to arms by the Pope and the promise of spiritual rewards motivated thousands to take up the cross and march towards the Holy Land. They were a testament to the power of religious belief to motivate extraordinary acts of both piety and violence. The Crusaders believed they were on a divine mission, and this belief justified their actions no matter how brutal. The fervent prayers before battles, the solemn processions, and the construction of grand churches all highlight the deep religious convictions that underpinned these campaigns. The Crusades remind us that history is not a simple narrative of good versus evil, but rather a tapestry woven from threads of faith, conflict, and cultural exchange. The interactions between different cultures during the Crusades led to significant exchanges of knowledge, art, and technology. Markets thrived with goods from distant lands, and scholars engaged in vibrant discussions, sharing ideas that would shape the future of both Eastern and Western civilizations. Understanding the Crusades is crucial for comprehending the dynamics of the medieval world and their lasting impact on the relationship between East and West. The architectural marvels that still stand today, the trade routes that were established, and the cultural exchanges that took place all serve as reminders of this pivotal period in history. By studying the Crusades, we gain insight into the complexities of human motivation and the profound effects of religious and cultural interactions.